During the Second World War, the Seabees had this proud motto: "The difficult we do immediately, the impossible takes a little longer." Today's gospel seems to be asking the same of Christians. The difficult is assumed. We are challenged to do the impossible. The difficult is the command to carry our cross. The impossible is twofold: to hate our family and to renounce all our possessions. Whoever does not carry his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Our personal cross, whether physical ailments or a personal struggle, we are to carry patiently, bravely, humbly, as Christ did his cross. Christians accept that command. It is difficult, but not impossible. But this gospel also expects the impossible in 2 verses: to hate one's own family and to give up all one's possessions. If anyone comes to me without hating his father and mother, his family, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. And again, anyone who does not renounce all his possessions cannot be my disciple. These commands, taken at face value, are not only difficult, they are impossible. How are we to understand them? It helps to know how they were understood by the first Christians. This passage was written during a time of persecution. Converts to Christianity were often disowned by their own families, betrayed by them to the authorities, or publicly shunned. Faith had to be a priority over family. It also helps to understand the word hate in context. It does not mean an emotional burst of anger, but a rejection of wrong values. Not a bitter personal animosity, but a higher commitment. A parallel passage in the Gospel of Matthew reads, "Whoever loves his father and mother, his son and daughter, more than me, is not worthy of me." How does this apply to Christians today? We do not live under persecution, yet faith still divides many families. The adolescent who refuses to attend church, the son or daughter who marries contrary to the faith, the relative who experiments with religious novelties. To stand firmly against their unorthodox ways, yet to welcome them warmly into family life, inviting them back to the fullness of faith. That is a challenge bordering on the impossible. The second impossible command of this gospel is to renounce all of one's possessions. This challenge is repeated in each of the gospels without qualifications. Go sell all you have and give it to the poor. How can good, responsible Christians do that in today's world? We have obligations, dependence, basic human needs. We cannot just give everything away. It is helpful to reflect on the deeper meaning of the verb renounce. Renounce conveys a sense of detachment. Detachment from our possessions means not allowing our possessions to dominate our lives, not measuring everything in rands and cents, not valuing a life by its economic benefit. A visitor to a leper colony once watched a nun bathe and bandage an infected leper. The visitor remarked, "Sister, I would not do what you do for $1 million. The nun answered quietly, "Neither would I." Many ordinary Christians, mothers and fathers, grandparents and guardians, often perform heroic service within their families, which no one else would do for any amount of money. The difficult they do immediately, the impossible takes them a little longer. The ideal of today's gospel, even in proper context, border on the impossible. We weak Christians do not always live up to these gospel values, but we always maintain them as our ideals. The poet Browning wrote, "A man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? The difficult we do immediately, the impossible takes a little longer."